Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we had a warm-up October 6th where I'm going to go through those questions. We seem to struggle with some of them, which is no problem, because I'm here to teach you and make sure you get it. So let's look at the first problem we had. We have a problem about Noah bought 5 CDs and a DVD for a total of $57. The DVD cost $12. The CDs were each the same price. How much was each CD? So what we know is he has 5 CDs and a DVD for a total cost of $57. The DVD costs $12. So we have 5 CDs and a DVD, and we know the DVD cost $12. So if we went here, we went 5 CDs, and these are all the same cost. So each one of these costs the same amount. So we know the DVD costs $12. So if I start with what he had, which was $57, and I subtract $12, and then whatever my difference is, I'm going to divide that by 5. So first I had to find out how much money's left after they bought the DVD, how much is left, and then whatever that total is, I divide that by 5. Okay, so what they have left, 57 minus 12 would be 45. Then I have 45 divided by 5. So they're $45 after the cost of the DVD. That $45 is divided by the 5 CDs. So each of those CDs costs $9. Each CD cost $9. That's problem 1. Let me pause it, write down problem 2, and we'll go. And we're back. This was our second. We had a strip diagram. The strip diagram was divided into 6 equal sections. Each section had a value of 12. A is the total of these 6 sections. That's how we figure out what A is. A, because this bracket here tells us A is all of this. So A equals all 6 sections. And so A is going to equal 72, because 6 sections, each one's worth 12. 6 times 12 is 72. Now, when I know A equals 72, then I just have to go through each of my 4 answer choices, and I replace the A with 72, and then see if that equation works. Okay? A number and a letter side by side means multiply. So if I do 6 times 72, is that going to equal 12? Of course not. If I do 12 times 72, is that going to equal 6? Of course not. If I do 72 divided by 6, is that going to equal 12? I don't know. But if I do 72 plus 6, is that going to equal 12? Of course not. So I can check 72 divided by 6, and we're going to get more practice in division later. We're going to start with multiplication, but 6 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract, I get 1. I bring down the 2. 6 goes into 12 twice. So 72 divided by 6 does indeed equal 12. So that would be la respuesta correcta. Let's pause for station identification. All right, so the third question. was Rick earned $133 for 7 hours of work. How much does Rick earn per hour? So we're trying to find his hourly pay. The equation 7p equals 133 can be used to find p, the amount of money Rick earns per hour. Okay, so here's our equation. And as I said in one of the last problems, a number and a letter side by side means multiply. So what this is saying is 7 times p equals 133. Now I have a couple choices on how I can do this. I had people tell me they are not good at dividing because all I have to do is take, and that's going to tell me how much that Rick earns per hour. If you don't like to do the dividing, you can always take your 4 answer choices, whatever those are, I didn't write them down, and you can replace p with that. So 7 times 9, see if that equals 133. Or just go through and see which answer choice, if you replace it with p when you multiply by 7, would give you 133. I'm going to show the division way. So 7 does not go into 1, so I do not have anything over the 1. 7 does go into 13. Well, if I list my multiples of 7, 7 times 1 equals 7. 7 times 2 equals 14. 14 is too big, so I know it's 1. Then I subtract 13, subtract 7 is 6, and I bring down the 3. Now I'm going to use this as an example because as we get to more difficult problems with bigger divisors, it's going to be real handy for you to list your multiples out here. So 7 times 3 equals 21, 7 times 4 equals 28, 7 times 5 equals 35, 7 times 6 equals 42, 7 times 7 equals 49, 7 times 8 equals 56, and 7 times 9 equals 63. Okay, when dividing, I take it each point at a time. In fact, let's start over here. All right, I want to look at the product, which is close to what I can get without going over. But I'm only dividing, I'm only going to put one number in my quotient at a time. So does 7 go into 1? It does not go into 1. Okay, now I look, does 7 go into 13? I look at my quotient, or my products here, and I want to get as close to 13 as I can looking at my products without going over. So my products are 7, 14, 14 is too big. So I have to go with 7 times 1. Because if I put 7 times 2, I got to put 14 below this, and I can't subtract. So it's going to be 7 times 1. 7 times 1 is 7. I've already done that math. And since it's going into 13, that 1 in my quotient has to be directly above that first 3. So then I subtract. 13 minus 7 is 6. I bring down that 3. Now I'm taking 7 into 63. Again, I go back and I look at my quotients, or my products. And I want to get as close to 63 is on this list as I can get without going over. But I only have to list the first 9. I don't have to know 9 times or 7 times 48. I don't have to know all that. I only have to list the first 9. So even if my divisor was 72, I would only have to do 72 times 1, 72 times 2. And I know that's a pain, but it's going to help you get it done correctly. So I'm looking at my quotient, or my products, the answer to a multiplication problem, and I want to get as close to 63 as I can get. I have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. That's as close as I can get without going over. And that means 7 times 9 is 63. 9 times 7 is 63. And I get a 0. Doing this is going to make division a lot easier. So if you stay with me here as we do multiplication, and you pay attention so that you can do this division is going to be so much easier for you. So how much it gets paid per hour is $19. So whichever answer choice shows $19 is the correct answer. Let me pause it and do the fourth problem. And we're back. This is the fourth and last problem that we had on that warm-up. It says, the Addams family drove 270 miles to reach their vacation destination. If they drove 45 miles each hour, how many hours did they drive? Which equation can be used to represent the problem? All right, before we do anything, I want to think, okay? Is the number of hours they drove, is it reasonable for it to be close to 270? I mean, if they're going 270 miles, they would have to drive 1 mile an hour to go 270 miles. Okay? So it's not reasonable for it to be close to 270. So I know it is not close to 270. Okay? Not reasonable. What about 45? Is it going to be more than 45 or less than 45, do we think? Well, does it make sense to drive more than 45 hours to get 270 miles? So it's going to be less than 45. Now this problem doesn't ask us to solve it. It does not ask us to solve it. But we're trying to find hours. The H stands for hours. They're putting that in the equation because we don't know what it is right now. We don't even actually have to find it. But let's look at a few things first. Okay? I'm going to eliminate some answers that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. If I multiply 270 times 45, does that reasonably tell me the number of hours that could be? I mean, 300 times 40 would be 12,000 hours. So, does that make any sense whatsoever? No. There is no way it can be this first answer. All right. What would the hours have to be for it to be H plus 45 equals 270? Well, it's going to have to be more than 200, because 200 plus 45 equals 270. So does 200 hours make any sense whatsoever to drive 270 miles? No. Okay, so I've eliminated two answers that don't make any sense whatsoever. Let's eliminate a third answer. Okay, if I divide 45 by H, is the 45 going to get bigger or smaller? Good, it's going to get smaller. I'm dividing it. I'm taking 45 and I'm putting it into equal pieces. It's going to make it smaller. So if I make this 45 smaller by dividing it into parts, there's no way I can get 270. I can't divide 45 by something and get 270 unless I'm dividing this by a really small fraction. Okay? So this one cannot possibly be the answer. This is the only one that can be the answer. 45 miles per hour times the number of hours. So 45 miles an hour times 2 would be 90 miles. 45 miles an hour times 4 would be 180 miles. Okay? This is the only one that if you analyze each answer choice, this is the only one that makes any sense whatsoever. You don't have to do the math. You have to think. You have to look and see what answer is reasonable, what answer could it possibly be, what answer makes any sense whatsoever. The only one that logically could be the correct answer is going to be this one. The only one that could logically be the correct answer without doing any math, just doing some thinking. Hope this helps. Boom, shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love you. Do something kind today. Save the bees. And right now, after you watch this, I want you to go out and do something nice for a friend, for a neighbor, for a family member. Just be a nice person. This world's too mean to each other right now. Love y'all. Have a good evening, morning, day, night, whatever it is when you watch this.